Welcome to Quail's Knitting Nest. My name is Joy.
And I'm Janet. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever.
Yep.
It's morning here. It's Saturday, June 29th.
Yes.
It's still hot and humid.
Let's hope we'll be getting some rain with those clouds.
We need it badly.
We do.
My poor flowers and plants and grass.
Yep. We just moved into the lowest level of drought.
Oh, did we?
This week. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think we were. Oh. Yep. Our area seems to be mist every single time. It's all around us. The other day it was all around us. It got really dark. Nothing happened.
Yep.
Tonight, I think, or tomorrow, it shows. Yeah. Definitely tomorrow.
I've been praying for rain because, it's been very dry. Most of it's going to the north. Like North Jersey is swimming in water, but Southern Jersey is dry like we are. Is this the scarf you were working on last time?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
This is it's an Italian summer scarf. And I found if you don't put that in exactly in Ravelry, you won't find it.
Oh.
It's an Italian summer scarf. And it's free. It's a free pattern by an Italian knitter. And she's actually from Italy. I looked up her. Her name's Francesca. So I used size 6 needles. And I used Vivara, made in Italy, rayon linen yarn from Plymouth. And it's probably, I would think it's discontinued. I'm pretty sure it is. I bought it in a sale rack last summer.
Oh.
But it's very shiny. I double stranded it. It's irregular. It has bumps. I showed that last time. The yarn has bumps. So my edges aren't the straightest, but it's because the yarn
is like that. Yeah.
It's a nice I-cord edge. It's really a nice, well, I should take it off and show, I suppose. This is the shape of it. You start at one end and increase on one side here. And I made it much longer than it shows.
Did you use up your entire yarn?
Oh no, I had 12 balls. I only used 5.5 on this.
Okay.
Yep.
So 5.5 are the 50 grams?
50 grams, yep. I'll put it on. We'll see how long I last. It feels good. It's not woolly for sure, but it's still something against weighty. The neck in the heat. So,
and today's really humid with the clouds.
It is.
You definitely feel the heat more when it's humid.
Even in the house with the air conditioning.
Because as soon as the air goes off, then the humidity bumps back up. Yeah.
Okay. What do you have on? One of your pretty sweaters? Summer sweaters?
One of my summer sweaters, of which I have 2. It's a pattern. This is based on a pattern called the Goodfellow top by Faina Goberstein. I modified that pattern heavily, but it's the general idea. And I used my favorite summer yarn, which Janet hates, the Juniper Moon Zooey. So it has this bottom edge, and then you knit this sideways around, and then you pick up on the edge and you knit up. And the reason I put this random stripe in here is because I was running out of yarn, and I have had just enough.
That's my leftover navy for my sweater.
Yeah,
that's right.
I scavenged this off of Janet because I knew I didn't have enough to finish the sweater. I think I used maybe 1 ball or something. So that's on the front and the back. I didn't have enough of the white to do the seam on the top, so I used the gray to do the seam.
It looks very nice.
And
your own design.
Pretty much.
You usually change things up.
I do. Yeah.
Looks nice. You make it work.
I'm really happy with how this turned out, even though it's sort of a Frankenstein sweater. It's very light and it's roomy and drapey, and of course it has the lace, so it lets the air breathe through.
Why do you call it Frankenstein?
Because I used sort of the shape of the Goodfellow top.
Oh.
And I used this bottom edging is from that pattern, but everything else is different.
Okay.
So I pieced together, I took this lace from another sweater pattern, and this lace I took from, I think, a Barbara Walker book.
Oh, okay.
And this edging might have been from the original pattern, I don't remember, but it wasn't on the edges, and I did something
like
even different on yeah. So I just kind of pieced it together. That's why I call it Frankenstein.
Oh, that's nice. Your own design, pretty much.
Yeah.
Very nice. So what's next?
What's next? Well, I have been doing the summer thing, which is lots of small projects.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. I know what's coming.
So to start, I have ornaments that I made for my coworkers.
Oh, and mohair this year.
Ooh. This year I made stars. This was a new pattern that I just saw.
Oh, I like that.
Recently.
They're bigger than usual.
The pattern calls for mohair stranded with a fingering.
This white one is stunning.
And I did all but one in just straight mohair because I wanted to see how it was coming out, and I liked it. I think it worked. And then when I was finished all the ones I wanted to make, then I did one the way the pattern called with this mohair stranded with the fingering.
I bet this will show up nicely.
Yeah.
This is really pretty. So do you started from the center, it looks like, right?
No. You start it from the outside edge and then you decrease in. Yeah.
That's easier.
It is.
Because starting from that middle.
Yeah.
I've tried it a couple of times. It's a little bit fiddly.
I rated my mohair stash. So these are all different mohairs that I had, most of which are purple for some unknown reason. But you can see, like, this one is just the mohair, and it's very lacy, and this one combined with the fingering is very solid. So I think I did 2 of each. So I have 2 reds, 2 light purple, 2 sort of a reddish purple, and this is a dark purple. These 2 I only made 1 of each because the yarn was really hard to work with.
Oh.
And I just didn't want to bother with a second one because it was annoying. But the others, they were pretty easy to work with, so I made 2 of them and then just 1 of the mohair combined with the fingering.
Are you finished now with those?
I'm done.
Did you make it good? Oh, that's great.
Nope. I think I have 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. No. 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, I have 10. And that's more than enough. I only have 4 coworkers, so the rest of them I'll just give around. And then I saw this adorable little pattern and I just had to make it. So.
Oh my goodness, how cute.
These are called mini cats.
Aren't these cute? Where would it look good there on my black? How's that?
There we go. The pattern is called Mini Cat by A Knitter.
Very cute.
And I saw the pattern and I immediately knew I had to make one for my coworker Meg, who is crazy about her cat Stanley, and he is a brown cat with white stripes. So I did this one first, and I didn't know, having not made the pattern, I didn't know how it was going to work up, and he ended up looking a little bit like a raccoon.
Oh no.
Because the stripe is right over his face.
Oh no, it's cute.
And then while I was at it, I was thinking, well, my son Peter has a cat that's mostly white, so I made one for him. And then cute. My daughter Amy doesn't have a cat, but she also loves cats, so I made a little one for her.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. These really are cute. Would you stuff them with the yarn?
Yes, I stuffed them with the yarn. But they're adorable. I love them.
They really are.
And this guy's tail curls around nicely, this one.
Yeah.
I probably used a 1. I don't remember, actually. But they sit up. You can't see it on camera, but they sit up nicely. Oh, here, maybe I'll put it on the...
We made it.
So that was fun. What have you been working on?
Well, I'll start with my favorite. I finished my emotional support chicken. This was a lot of fun to make.
Yeah.
I used Encore worsted, my leftover pieces that I have in my stash. I didn't go and buy eyes. I don't know. What do you think? I put
They're
buttons.
fine, yeah.
That's what I thought. Buttons. I have so many buttons in my stash. So this is completely stashed. The stuffing I had from when I made the Arn and Carlos squares, and I made it into a pillow during COVID. So that was left over. I used that up, and this is all leftovers. Emotional support chicken.
Did you name your chicken?
No, I didn't. I didn't even think of it. And it's by the Knitting Tree, LA.
Yeah, because they're in Los Angeles.
And it's a modification of a pattern by the late Bev Galuskas. I remember her. I made felted slippers from her pattern for Fiber Trends. She made patterns, designed patterns. Yeah, here it is, for Fiber Trends, called Henrietta and the Family. So if you want to see more, I'm sure they're probably still available. And it takes about, for the main color, my main color was the turquoise. And I had to make that because that's my color. 200 yards. And then color B, 100 yards. And then all you needed was 4 yards for the beak in yellow, and then 6 yards for the comb and wattle. And I used a size 7. It was a lot of fun. Really a lot of fun. You start from back here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it's all short rows. Everything is short rows. It's all one piece, except for this, the bottom.
You have to sew
So you
that
have
in.
to sew it together. But everything else is, and you have to sew the seams, of course, down here. Just one seam here. And then sew the little comb on the top.
Okay.
And the little wattle thing. And this was fun to make, this beak. I just happen to have all these colors. They call for red here, but this was the closest I had. And it says yellow. This is like a gold, but I think I like it.
Oh yeah.
Chickens are all colors.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
great.
My emotional support chicken.
Our friend
that's
Natalie
adorable.
just made one for her daughter too. Very cute.
I'm debating if I want to make any more, because I do have a lot of odds and ends of worsted, and it was fun putting the colors together.
So if you made more, what would you do with them?
For my great niece.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'd have to make, I'd probably make 3.
One for each.
Yeah. I think they might like them, but I don't know. Have to order more stuffing. So you're only supposed to, so I said about color A and color B for stripes, but I used 6 different colors and just used up what I had. I figure their feathers are sometimes different colors.
Yeah.
A couple shades of rust.
I like it.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
I'm almost tempted to make one, but
yeah, I'm wondering.
I'm not there yet.
I wonder if any of our friends will make it.
Well, I did my latest Effektgarn for the Persian Dreams blanket. The blanket is Persian Dreams by Jenise Hope, and this is the current one, the most recent.
That's pretty.
And it's just to compare.
They're all pretty.
These are from the same 2 skeins. So that you can see a little bit of the brown here in the beginning, and then it quickly goes away and turns into the orange. And then the white in this one evolved into like this gray color here. It's more subtle pattern in this one.
It's very pretty. I love it.
Colors are more closer in value. So that is done. I don't even remember. I guess that would be number 6. Because I had 4 and then 2.
Did you start your next one?
No, haven't started the next one yet.
July, yes, it's Monday.
And then while I was making my small summer things, I had this on my queue ever since the pattern came out earlier this year. It's called the 10 Stitch Hat by Frankie Brown. Now he's famous for his 10 stitch blankets.
Oh, yes,
He has
I've
a couple
heard of that.
versions. One is a spiral and one is a square. And he has a lot of 10 stitch patterns. And this was the first one that he's done that's been a small, like a hat. And when I saw the picture of it, I was really intrigued. I'll put a picture here of his photo because I thought his photo looked really cool. And I thought, oh, I want to try that. because I had been wanting to try one of the 10 stitch patterns for a long time, for years. So it starts here at the top, and you make basically a pinwheel out of short rows. And then after you finish your circle at the very top, then it comes off. It spirals off the top. You can kind of see it here in where it changes to the white. And then this little strip grows until you get to your 10 stitches. And then you work in a spiral down the hat over these 10 stitches, around and around and around. And that's how the hat is constructed. And so you knit 10, and then you knit 10 back, and then you join it as you're going. You do a SSK to join the last stitch of the 10 you're working on with the first stitch of the previous spiral. And his example was a striping yarn. So I went through my stash and I went looking for something striping. I forget if this is, I think mine's worsted. His example, I think, was DK. I can't remember. But what I ended up using is Blue Mountain Farms Hodgepodge yarn, which is when they finish spinning their yarns, they always have these ends left over, and they take the ends and make a hodgepodge out of it. So you never know what you're going to get in your yarn, and it's constantly changing as the fibers go in and out. So this is mostly browns with a little bit of white here, you can see. And then there's a tiny bit of like a bluish, greenish color in this section here. And then this yarn is very, what I would call rustic.
It is.
Yeah. And I was afraid it would be itchy. So I added to the pattern, which is not part of the pattern, a hem in a different yarn that is sort of similar, but this is acrylic, so it's not, I don't have any idea what the hodgepodge is made out of. I assume it's wools, different wools, but this is an acrylic yarn, so it won't be as itchy, but it still has that same vibe, sort of.
It blends right in, yes.
Yeah, so I just picked up along the edge and then did a purl row for a turning round, and then I knit 10 rounds or something, and then I just sewed it down on the inside. So it's a little big. I actually,
it looks nice though.
I was running out of yarn, so I did not make the hat as long as it's supposed to be. His in the picture is long, so that he pulls it down and then he turns the back up like this.
Oh yes.
But mine looks different than his because I have this hemmed edge.
Right.
So
I like the way it fits though, before it's rolled up.
It's
you don't want it any bigger than that.
No, it's loose enough so it doesn't feel like it's crushing my head, and it's pretty roomy all around.
No, I think it fits very well.
Sizing, I think, would be tricky, like if your gauge is off or you're using different yarn size, because with the 10 stitches, I don't know how you calculate.
No.
But he did, like 2 weeks ago, he came out with a baby size version. It's basically the same hat in fingering weight instead of DK.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It was interesting to make, but I can't say it was fun to make. Now, having made this, I would probably not do another 10 stitch pattern again ever.
Or a blanket.
Or a blanket. Yeah.
That would be a bit much.
You're going back and forth on 10 stitches. So it's, I don't know, it just felt like it took forever to make this hat. Like I can make a hat in usually 2 nights or so. And this took me about a week. I don't know if maybe it was the yarn. I don't know. But I really did not enjoy making it. But it was interesting to do.
You tried it and now you know.
That's right. I tried it and now I know. So that's my 10 stitch hat. Do you have anything else?
It looks nice on you.
Thanks.
I have my usual monthly sock. I didn't show this last month. I hadn't started it then.
So you did the whole pair since?
Yes. So I really like this yarn. I love the way it's striped, the colors.
Oh, yeah.
Look at how pretty that is. Can't see it. I don't know if you could. Yeah, I guess you could see it. Let me go back a little bit. So I did the 2x2 rib for the leg, the cuff and the leg, and then just the basic stockinette because I could see that this was going to be a pretty stripe.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Now, are these for you?
This. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is different. I hadn't even realized this is Lang Jawal silk. I didn't remember that Jawal had silk in their sock yarn. My finger's right on it. There we go. So this is 55% new wool, superwash, 25% nylon, and 25% silk.
Mm.
You can't.
No, not really.
It's not as like rustic feeling as the regular Lang, like not as woolly, but it doesn't feel silky. I wouldn't say it feels silky.
No, I wouldn't say
but
so.
I like the way it feels. I think they're going to be very comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't even know if they make this anymore because this is old, very old stash from the Yarn Gallery. Yeah, it's a German. I love these German. I guess it's Yawool. Did I say Joe? It's Yawool silk. I think that's how you pronounce it. And look, it was only $17. It was only selling for $17. So this.
Well, that was.
But Lang is pretty reasonable though in their sock yarns.
I like that
silk a little bit. After I washed it, especially, it feels silkier.
I like those stripes.
I do
very
too.
Nice.
I think they'll be very wearable. I'm really trying to make things that I'm going to wear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be intentional.
Before I like to try different things and different colors and all this, like those big shawls, but they're not practical. Mm-hmm. I don't wear them. They're sitting in my closet.
Yeah.
So anymore, whenever I make something, I try to be more practical thinking about it. Because this will be nice with my gray pants and my brown pants.
Yeah.
Tan pants. And then the fun thing is the chicken, of course.
Yeah.
But
not very practical.
When I knit something like this, I was thinking, I like to use the hand-dyed yarns, of course, the multicolors and all this stuff. But when you think about getting dressed, like when I was going on vacation, I thought, I really need something more neutral that would go with everything. Mm-hmm. And not woolly around my neck.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be a lot more considerate about what I'm making.
Did you finish it before you went on vacation?
No, I didn't.
No.
I basically didn't need it. We went to Napa, California, and the first day we got there was 105 degrees. I couldn't believe it. And that was a 24-hour day because flying from the East Coast to the West Coast and vice versa is really a trip. It's a trip. With the 5-hour layover in Denver.
Oh, wow.
Crazy. But the first 2 days were 100 degrees, and after that, the highs were in the 80s, and it was beautiful. And they didn't have any humidity. That's the thing. There was no humidity there. And there's always a breeze in Napa Valley, so that was beautiful in the afternoons. But at night, we had outdoor concerts 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It goes down to 50 degrees.
Oh.
And it was outdoor. It was freezing. Everybody had blankets on, all kinds of. So thank goodness, I took my spring quilted jacket with me. Mm-hmm. And I wore that every night. It's funny, I had a pair of acrylic gloves in my pocket of the jacket. I didn't realize it. I wore them at the show. That's how
well, sure. If it's 50 and you're outside and you're just sitting there,
I know.
You are going to get
socks
cold.
One night. A couple. Oh my goodness. We took a little bit dressier things to wear. You couldn't. No, you just had to wear your warmest clothes and layer. Mm-hmm. But it was a lot of fun. It's beautiful. Not a drop of rain. It was beautiful, just beautiful. But I didn't. I probably could have worn this scarf at night, but I didn't finish it. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did finish Jim's socks as well. So I have these done. This is the jeans yarn from Shoppel. And they are finished.
It's hard to tell. The color is really pretty. I noticed when I watched our last podcast, you couldn't really see the true color. See, here it doesn't look as...
It looks
maybe there.
Darker and not as blue.
This is very blue, like denim-y blue. It's really nice. But that didn't show up as well, I noticed.
So these I worked starting at the toe with a short row toe and up, and then the same short row on the heel, and then up to about 8-ish inches on the cuff. So I worked the foot 9 inches, and then I started the heel. So it's 9 inches from the tip of the toe to here, and then I worked an inch above the heel, and then from the bottom of the rib to the top of the rib is 8 inches. That's what he likes. Nice tall cuff and a long foot. So they're done. And I started my next pair, which is I'm almost done the first one.
Very nice.
This is summer socks for me, and I'm using the yarn I got on the yarn crawl. This is called Philly from Universal Yarn. It is 46% cotton, 33% superwash, 12% polyamide, and 9% PBT.
What's that?
I don't know. I looked it.
No,
I looked it up last time, but I don't remember what it is.
You know, because I think on one of my podcasts that I was watching, they said the same thing and they didn't know what it was. And I was thinking I should look it up.
Yeah, it's one of those plastics.
Yeah.
Or synthetics,
whatever.
Yeah.
The colors are beautiful. You can't really see it too much in the yarn ball.
That's the skein.
This is pretty.
And then the sock,
Wow.
it stripes out like this. I was actually hoping, like, there's this long section of blues. It is striping. It's like a dark blue with like a light teal almost, or aqua. And it is striping, but it's not very noticeable. It's very subtle. Whereas this stripe here is very noticeable. So I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't more consistent striping throughout the sock. But I do like the colors. And I got at least 3 of the rusts, the sequence going.
It's pretty.
So
are you going to match them?
I'm going to try, yeah.
That's what I did here, too. It was, well, anyway, it worked out good. It worked out well.
Yep, I'm definitely going to try.
Very
but
pretty.
I'm almost, as you can see, I'm almost done the first one. Do you have anything else to show?
No, I really don't. The only other thing I've been working on, well, I picked it up again, is my pressed flower shawl by Amy Christoffers that I've talked about many times, so I didn't bring it. There's not much progress. I'm on the last part of the front, the left front. And then I'll join it and do the sleeves. I've got to get that done.
Well, I got my first issue of Farm and Fiber Knits. I heard about this maybe 2 months ago-ish. And I signed up, especially since Interweave went out of print. And this is kind of expensive in terms of what you would consider for a magazine subscription. However, I was thinking, this is something like $65-ish per year.
When you get 4 issues?
No, there's 1 print issue. And then you get weekly emails throughout the year. Some of them have links to the stories in the print issue, and then the rest of it is fresh stories that are just online.
Oh.
And they're slowly building up a pattern catalog as well. But I was thinking, I've been paying $25 a year for a print magazine subscription for like 20 years.
Is that what we paid?
I feel like the price hardly went up at all in 20 years.
I don't know. I was thinking 40 for some reason. I don't know.
No, well, I think if I paid 40, it was for 2 years. Because I would often do a 2-year instead of a 1 year. But I feel like the $65, although it sounds like a lot, I don't think it's unreasonable. Anyway, I really like this issue. I'm not sure that there's anything in here I would make necessarily, but there's great articles in here. They have an article from Alice Starmore, which I'm just like over the moon about. And of course, her designs are unusual. And they have an article from Meg Swanson in here. So there's articles. The Meg Swanson article is about twisted stitch knitting. And there's a book, I think it's called Twisted Stitch Knitting, that she put out through Schoolhouse Press. And the article is basically a recap of how that book came to be.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. There's an article from Alice Starmore, like I said, and then there's one from Gudrun Johnston about Shetland. There's an article about Donegal tweed, and it talks about the different yarns available in Ireland. And there's an article from Nash Island, Maine, and the sheep that live on the island out there. And there's an article from Iceland, and how the sheep and the yarn industry in Iceland has evolved over the years. And so I found all of these articles very interesting to read. And then there's maybe 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think there's around 10 knitting patterns in here. So I'll just show you a quick, like there's a jacket, cardigan, some fingerless mitts, there's a cape. There's a bunch of, in the back they have a bunch of different patterns. Yeah.
Years ago.
So here, this is the Alice Starmore article. And the photos are all taken by her daughter, Jade. I don't know the exact details, but it sounds like, based on what I read in the article, is that Alice did the knitting patterns and her daughter, Jade, created fabrics and made garments to go with the knitted items.
Oh, nice. She styled
So
them.
So for example, she has, I don't know how well you can see this, but the skirt on the bottom has these birds. So she designed a whole fabric line, and it comes in different colors. So this one is like grays and blues, and I think there's another one with yellows. And this is, there it is. There's the yellow one with the birds at the bottom. So she designed these fabrics and then made these outfits to go with the knits.
A Scottish artist,
Yeah,
designer, and author. Okay.
She lives on the island of Lewis.
Hebridean.
Mm-hmm. I would recommend this. And each week when the emails come, there's at least one article that I go and read.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I feel like it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so nice to have a print magazine.
And they really have the top designers.
Yeah, this sweater on the cover is by Norah Gaughan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they really went out for their first issue, and the
The
big ad on the back is
Kelpie
Woolens.
Yeah. My favorite.
Yeah.
Joy had a special event the first Saturday of June. What was it called?
It was called Knit Together.
Knit Together.
Let's
hear about it. I haven't heard anything.
Sure. My friend Jackie approached me and said, I would like to do this event. And originally she called it Swatch to Sweater. She said, all my friends keep asking me how to make sweaters. And we discussed it. We went back and forth and talked about it. And I recommended our friend Margie to be the teacher because she is very skilled knitter and
beautiful.
Knows a lot about not only knitting, but sewing and how things fit on your body. And as we were talking with Margie, it evolved from, instead of swatch to sweater, what we were doing basically was how to make sweaters that flatter you. And we also combined it. Our tagline was, combine your love of the Lord with the joy of knitting. So we also had some spiritual aspects to the event. It was 5 to 6 hours on a Saturday. We had what I think of as like your basic 3-hour knitting class, but we broke it up into 3 pieces. So there was an hour class, then we had a break, and an hour class, then we had lunch, and then we had an hour class, and then we had like follow-up after that. So that's kind of how the day was structured. And before and in the breaks and things, we did short spiritual things like read poetry and pray and talk about how you can incorporate meditation and prayer into your knitting. So if you're knitting something and you're spending time focused, and if you're a person that has trouble praying, you can use that time to sort of focus your prayers as well. So you can use your knitting to focus your prayers. And then we also talked about how if you're making something for a particular person, you can pray for that person while you're knitting that item. So they not only get the item, but also all the prayers that went into it. And Margie structured her class. We started with measuring. So first we measured our bodies, and then we measured a sweater that fits us well, and we looked at the difference between what is my body bust measurement versus the chest measurement on the sweater. So we talked about ease and how you may or may not like a sweater to be larger than you are, or the same you are, or even smaller than you are, based on how you like the way it fits. So we spent a lot of time talking about that. And then we talked about body shapes and how if you're larger on top, what kind of sweater shapes might flatter that figure shape versus if you're larger on bottom, what type of sweater shapes might flatter that shape. And then if you're equal, basically, she called it a rectangle, your top is about the same as your bottom, where you can go with that. We talked about that. And then at the end, it was basically all about gauge. Everyone came with a gauge swatch, and we talked about, was your swatch bigger or smaller before you blocked it? How did the blocking affect the knitting? And then how do you use that information when you're looking at a pattern? And that was basically our day.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was a nice day. We had 13 attendees, and it went well.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So did anybody actually start sweaters? Or their swatches
No.
were for a sweater they were going to start?
Right.
Or just, okay.
Yeah, they brought, most of them brought swatches for sweaters they wanted to make, but we talked about sort of the basics before you even get to starting to cast on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so nobody actually started a sweater that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is very important, because I'm sure a lot of people don't do that in the beginning. When you first start knitting sweaters, you don't know all this preliminary work that you should do to ensure you're fit.
Well, and one of Margie's main points was, you may see, for example, a sweater on Ravelry,
right,
that 10,000 people have made and everybody loves, but is it going to fit you the way you want it to fit you? And is it a style that flatters your body shape?
Right.
And what to do in that case? Like she said, if you want to make it and you don't care how it looks, that's fine. I mean, you're still free to make whatever you want to make.
Right.
Just go into it knowing that maybe it's not the most flattering look for you or whatever.
That's like the ranunculus and the love note.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be careful of the sizing there, depending upon what you like.
Yeah, she talked about, she actually brought one sweater she made that had 10 inches of ease to show. And it was good. Actually, she brought a bunch of sweaters, and she said, so see this one? This is what happened with this sweater, and this is what happened with that sweater. And
wow.
Yeah. Gave some real life examples.
Very good.
Yeah. So we're tossing around the idea, do we want to do it again?
I was just going to ask you that.
Because a bunch of people have already asked Jackie, when are you going to offer this again?
Oh, good.
Because, of course, not everybody could make the date that we picked.
Right.
If we do it again, it won't be till next spring, probably.
Okay. Would you do the same thing or something different?
Well, that's another question. Because there were apparently a lot of people that wanted to do that particular class that couldn't come that day.
Right.
And then after that would be like, what would the follow-up be? Like, what would you do next? Would we actually do, now that you know the basics, can we actually go into the actual, figure out the sweater itself?
Maybe you'll do two.
Oh, maybe. We'll see what happens with it. But it was a good day. Yeah.
Nice idea.
So you were on vacation in June. I'm going on vacation in July. Do you have any more vacations coming up this summer?
Just 1 day, 2 days down the shore.
And I hear some more people in our group are making some Felix sweaters.
Yes.
So it'll be fun to see how theirs turn out.
I'm actually swatching for another one.
Oh, are you?
A lighter weight one.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that one I made is very heavy. It's a jacket. And I love the pattern. It was very easy to do.
Yeah, it's well written.
So I went in my stash, and this time I found a worsted weight. I'm going to see if I like that.
What'd you use
then make a
before?
larger
Aran?
size. That was Aran.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, it was worsted with mohair.
Oh, so you combined
Right.
it with the heavy.
To get the gauge, yeah. So.
And I have another baby to make a sweater for.
Oh my goodness.
This one's not due till November, but it's a small project and I have time, so I'm gonna start that and work on that.
I have to finish my pressed flowers. I keep saying that, and something keeps coming up. I don't know. I felt like making smaller things like that chicken and the scarf, just for a change, and because it was so hot.
Yes.
But the pressed flowers is lightweight to work on.
Good.
I want to take that to Rhinebeck too.
Finished, you mean?
Yes. To wear. So I guess that's it for today.
That's it.
4th of July is coming.
Mm-hmm.
This may be after, but
we'll see. I might get it up before the 4th. Happy 4th of July if you're in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's going to be extremely hot that day. It's the hottest day of the week I saw.
Oh, I didn't look.
97 and humid here. Stay cool.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. This is the end of June already. We'll see you in July at some time.
Enjoy your summer.
After Joy's vacation, I guess.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Maybe beginning of August. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
When we can get it together.
Okay. Everybody have fun this summer. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye.